We're gonna do a quickie today. We're gonna do Who's Got Their Eye on You, the collective, okay? Let's just dive right into it. Please and thank you, Spirit. Who's got their eye on the collective right now, and why? Dare I say why? Oh. Well, that's a pretty straightforward message, okay? Okay. Well, yeah, let me just show you what came out. We have the Eight of Cups, the Tower, Queen of Swords, the Lovers. Okay. Disregard my nails looking really bad. They're a work in progress, let's just say. And what we have here at the bottom of the deck is the Queen of Cups. Okie dokie. Yeah, let's just dive right into the... Actually, there is like a storyline that I'm already picking up on, and it might be interesting to like see if this comes up in the actual reading. But from this, I see you leaving somebody behind or some situation behind, and because you did that, or after you did that, something fell apart like immediately after you left it behind. This could be a person, or this could be a situation. Could even be like specifically like a home. Anyways, something fell apart after you left it behind, and whoever you left behind sees you as the Queen of Swords, somebody that has good boundaries and does not accept nonsense. You're very no nonsense. But with that Lover's card on at the end of it, I feel like that could be talking about two different storylines. One where this person thinks that you're their soulmate. I don't know if that's reciprocated or not, but that could be something here. Also, on the other hand, the Lovers has to deal with choices and making choices for your better, your better good, your enlightened self on that journey. So it could be indicating that you made this decision of leaving something behind because you could see or foresee that it was going to crumble, or that it wasn't built on stability, a solid foundation. So you made these choices in alignment with your highest good, and that probably is, ideal that you would do that for your own development and growth. I'm just gonna grab some paper towels because I'm a sweaty baby. Okay. Let's start off with clarifying that Eight of Cups, please, and thank you, Spirit. What do we have for this? Eight of Cups when it comes to who has their eye on the collective and why. Dare I ask why? Okay. Well, we have the King of Wands coming out like that. Two of Cups upright. The Judgment card. Bottom of the deck, Five of Wands. Ugh. Well, what was that? I just felt something bite me. These ants trying to get in my pants. Anyways, I think I just said that because it rhymed. I don't know why I said it, so. Okay, anyways. With this King of Wands coming out this way, you know what this feels like to me? Well, again, I'm getting like two different storylines. So it's like I see you leaving something behind that no longer serves you, fulfills you. And this King of Wands could either be talking about you stepping into your power and taking action to move away from something here. But I'm also getting maybe potentially a little bit of an overly controlling, now I see the message. If I think about what the theme of this reading is, it's who has their eye on you and why. So now I see. It's this King of Wands that has their eye on you. And since they came out in this direction, they are very, very focused on you. Okay, now I'm getting a different storyline. So it's like you could have left a situation behind, and it could have been with this King of Wands, and now they're kind of like potentially confused or like what happened here. But then there's that other storyline where it's like you left something behind, and the person that has their eye on you is this King of Wands who wasn't involved in this situation, but maybe very intrigued by you, and maybe like word on the street is you're single now. That's the kind of energy I'm getting. Okay, that makes more sense there. And then that would make sense why the Two of Cups came up. So this King of Wands, it's like because something ended. So maybe it's also potentially that somebody else left something behind, and now that has taken, hopefully y'all can hear me. My microphone just keeps dying. Now I just gotta remember where the hell I was in this reading. Okay, so yes, I think I was saying something along the lines of like, this person either left something behind and now is coming towards you with a lot of enthusiasm because they have a connection with you that they would like to explore. And they feel in some regard that this is a mutual connection where the two of you both have feelings. Or it could be that they're very hopeful about that. I would see the King of Wands probably as a pretty optimistic character, especially because there's like that confidence that comes with the King of Wands. So yeah, they could sort of assume that you have feelings for them too, or that's in their hopes with this situation. But they see you very much as an equal, as a partner. So either you left something behind and now this King of Wands is coming in towards you because they're like, word on the street is you're single. Or on the other hand, it could be this person left something behind, this King of Wands, and now they're coming in and like, hey, I'm single. Are you also single? Are you interested? So that's why they are watching you, why they have their eye on you right now. And probably that is what they are. Well, the way that the King of Wands came out in this direction, that feels almost like, I don't want to say forceful, that's a negative, typically a negatively associated word. More so, it just feels like action, forward progress, coming in, maybe suddenly, maybe out of nowhere. And then it's like the Judgment card came out in this direction as well as the King of Wands, how it came out in this direction. So that makes me think that the King of Wands' intention for coming towards you is for you to make a judgment on them in regards to love. It is possible that this is somebody from your past, but I'm not getting that. I don't think it's possible, I guess, but I wouldn't say necessarily that it is an ex, because this is somebody that thinks they have like a good solid chance with you, and that you'd be as interested in them as they are in you. So I don't know if an ex would definitely, I don't think an ex would like bring about that sort of optimism. It is possible that this is just an ex that has such a big ego that they just assume you still have feelings. That's a possibility. But I'm not getting overly, like, not over the top ex vibes. It more or less feels to me like this is just somebody that really wants to come in towards you, show up in that confident manner, express themselves romantically, and then have you make this final judgment on the situation here. So, do you want to explore this love potential here romantically? Are you as interested in them as they are in you? They could also feel the divine being present in this. Like the divine is bringing the two of you together or something, or setting up things in a way that it allows the two of you to come together with relative ease. So maybe if there was potential blockages before, there may not be anymore. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. It's like maybe it could have even been maybe a flirtationship or situationship that like was never really able to get off the ground because of something else being in the picture. Yeah, because the Eight of Cups doesn't always have to be breaking apart from a relationship necessarily. It could just be anything that no longer serves somebody emotionally. What was that? Oh, you're just a very hyper ant. Okay. But I guess with the Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck, that could indicate some potential conflict here. But I don't really see the wands, when it comes to the Five of Wands, I don't really see it as a huge obstacle. Because the Five of Wands is not only about potential conflict, but it's also about practicing something. It could be about internal conflict. It doesn't always have to be like, I would think maybe the Five of Swords is more of like a serious kind of tone, where it's like, okay, somebody is clearly behaving very unfairly here. Whereas the Five of Wands, I feel like there's more wiggle room for it to be like workable. You know, like even if you are a little bit tense to this person at first, or a little bit guarded, I feel like there's still that area of being able to actually let down your guard. So if it is somebody from your past, like an ex, the Five of Wands could indicate that you have a sense of conflict with them, and that you, sorry, I just realized I keep accidentally touching the mic. They could be assuming that you're gonna be standoffish with them potentially. I'm also getting that because practice, also this can be a card of like competition. So maybe this person would feel like you have plenty of options and they would have to fight the competition to get into your good graces or whatever. But I'm also getting, because of the practice side of the Five of Wands, the way in which this King of Wands is showing up here, it seems super enthusiastic. So I'm almost inclined to say that maybe this person, and this is going to sound kind of funny, they could be like practicing what they're going to say to you before they actually say it. Like I am actually getting a image in my mind of somebody looking in the mirror and like practicing a conversation, especially like if they're trying to flirt, you know, it's like, you know, maybe I could go for this kind of look, like, hey, or, you know, maybe I could fix my hair like this. And, yeah, like, you know, like I feel like somebody is literally like looking in the mirror, trying to practice what they're going to say before they say it. So that could also mean like how much you mean to this person. That could be an indicator that they really don't want to mess this up. They really don't want to look like a fool in front of you, because it does feel like this person's going to be coming towards you. Oh, another thing too is like the King of Wands is typically a king of action, in my opinion, because they're so driven, passionate, and fired up, you know? So there's something about like being ready to go, but in a good way, in a positive way. Like, yeah, let's do this, let's go, woohoo! So they're probably even trying to like, you know, make themselves feel good about themselves so that they have enough confidence to come towards you. Maybe they've been working on their confidence behind the scenes so that they can come in and express themselves in a way that's maybe in the alignment of how they see you. I want to see what's underneath this 5 of Wands. Maybe we could get some more context. I can't make this up. The 5 of Swords was underneath the 5 of Wands. So, I got distracted by bugs. Anyways, I was just saying that the 5 of Wands, there's still a little bit of wiggle room if there's conflict here. It's not like the 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords was underneath that 5 of Wands. So that tints this picture for me a little bit. This could be somebody that was really manipulative, really not, I don't want to say they're not good or that they're not a good person or something, because I don't like to think that black and white about people. There is that message behind the 5 of Swords of like winning at all cost, and that is usually winning at all cost, even if that cost comes, what am I trying to say here? Like winning at all costs, not all cost, and that would include if they gotta step on some people's toes in the process, if they gotta hurt people's feelings, if they gotta manipulate maybe to get what they want. Pretty much somebody that is willing to do things that are not very ethical or moral to get ahead, to be successful. So this King of Wands could have tried to confuse you, manipulate you, manipulate your mind, play mind games to the point where you didn't know what was up and what was down. So it could be that this is an ex returning from the past. You left them behind, now they're coming towards you. Because that 5 of Swords speaks to some sort of depth there of pain. So there's like a history, and it doesn't even have to be maybe an ex from an actual relationship, but maybe a situationship ex or a flirtationship ex, where things never really got off the ground, but you wanted them to go there maybe. But the 5 of Wands with the 5 of Swords, that really feels to me like this person could be manipulative. They are the King of Wands, so they're probably charming to some extent. They just feel like they're the kind of person that could easily manipulate another person. Maybe because they're very likable, they're very attractive, they have a way with words maybe. So that is interesting why that 2 of Cups then came out upright. So it's like maybe this ex is delusional, thinking that you still have feelings for them, they still have a chance somehow. It's just so odd. I would not think that the 2 of Cups would show up upright if this was somebody that you really don't trust. Okay, so actually I'm going to look underneath that 5 of Swords. Ace of Swords. So there's some sort of truth coming to light. Information that... Okay. So that Ace of Swords is telling me that they could be exposing themselves in the way of like they are owning up to their mistakes from the past, potentially. They could be shedding light on how they were, you know, very manipulative or doing some shady stuff here. Not not really thinking about how other people are going to be affected by their actions. I'm also getting this sense with that Five of Wands on top of the Five of Swords that there's like almost like something feeling superficial to an extent. Or maybe the fact that you felt like this person did not take you seriously. So it's like on top of them not taking you seriously, they also tried to manipulate this situation. So it's like they were really kind of painting themselves into a corner. It's like, how do you expect to get out of that? But the Ace of Swords indicates to me that this person would like to share a truth here. And that may be owning up to their mistakes of the past. Like, yes, I was manipulative. Yes, I was trying to control things to a point where it was unhealthy. So maybe that's why the Two of Cups is upright, is because they may think that there's still a chance for reconciliation, harmony between the two of you. The two of you coming back together. So maybe they're even thinking, like, if I just word things in the right way, maybe they'll, like, you know, whatever, consider this connection again. If they come in and they're like, I've changed. Yeah. I just don't know how thrilled you're going to be to receive this, but they're hopeful. That's one thing they definitely are. There is also that caduceus, is that what it's called? That little symbol above the Two of Cups, where it's like a lot of hospitals have that sort of like symbol. And so that to me speaks of healing. So it's almost even giving this energy of like they're hoping that they can still heal this beautiful connection. They feel like this is a gorgeous connection. And probably like a once in a lifetime soulmate kind of connection. That could be really healthy for the both of you. Could be very equal for the both of you. But again, I'm not so sure how you're going to feel about it. But you know what? That's probably, yeah, you know what? I'm actually thinking that probably because they haven't actually done this yet, they don't like know your angle, your position, your perspective. So maybe it will almost take this person coming towards you and expressing this for you to be able to say, like, I've moved on. You know, I have somebody else in my life. I do not want to go back to the past. You know, like kind of stuff like that. And honestly, if it is next, that Judgment card could make more sense too, because maybe you two never really reached that point of making a decision on whether to pursue this connection or not. Yeah, so I think I'm only getting their perspective of this, and I'm not seeing so much your perspective, other than the fact that you probably are going to be guarded, and you're probably going to be remembering this person not in the best light. I do feel charmer vibes, so I would maybe just encourage you to be careful. Not saying that this person necessarily hasn't changed or whatever, but I feel like if you follow your intuition, your gut feelings, like, has this person actually changed? Do they mean what they say? Or are they just trying to schmooze me? Yeah, because there's like a charming halo effect, I pretty much want to say, when it comes to this person. So if you still have feelings for this person, I would just definitely be a little bit guarded, because they definitely seem like the kind of person that could charm, what is that saying? Could sell water to a fish or something like that. Like somebody could sell, or this guy could, or this person could sell anything to anyone because they're so darn charming, you know? And everybody likes them. And they're coming in a very confident sort of energy as well. So people probably like this person's confidence, how they speak, how they show up. Also, the way that all the people in this card are like looking at the angel and like they're holding out their arms, it almost feels like even like a sense of desperation. So this person could even be like a little bit desperate to get your approval, to hear what you have to say, for you to make this judgment and hear your side of the story maybe. Okay, well that's one person that has their eye on you, and why. And I guess that's pretty straightforward. Let's go on to the Tower card now. Please and thank you, Spirit. What is this Tower card all about when it comes to who has their eye on the collective and why? Please, thank you, Spirit. Tower card for the collective. Thank you. Okay, we'll take those. Then others for number. No, I did not. Oh wait, did that? Okay. Alrighty, this is interesting. So we have, what was it? I think, okay, yes. I think it was actually the Fool card that came out first. So, Fool card, clarifying that Tower card. 5 of Cups. Ace of Pentacles. The Devil. The Tower card. And then, bottom of the deck is the Page of Pentacles. So, this could potentially be this other person that we just saw, the King of Wands, and this could be giving us a little bit more backstory, but it also could be somebody else that has their eye on you. It feels like somebody went through a Tower moment and now they want to start over. With that Fool card, somebody's now enthusiastic for a new beginning after some sort of Tower has fallen. They're trying to be optimistic amongst the chaos, maybe. But then there's that 5 of Cups, which indicates heartbreak, disappointment in love. Sometimes I see it as a card of depression. Not being able to see the positives in a situation. So that's weird. It almost feels like conflicting energy. I just said that this person's trying to be optimistic, but then there's like a lack of optimism here. Not being able to see how things can turn out right. So with that polar opposite sort of point of view, where this could be a type of person that kind of flip-flops between being enthusiastic, optimistic, and being very pessimistic, very doubtful. And maybe that's what the Tower card is indicating. This could be indicating somebody that is very tumultuous within themselves, let alone a connection with you. So this could also be kind of like a, I don't want to say warning, because I don't want to fearmonger anyone. Like, you know, if this is somebody that's coming into your life, you have the free will to say no and not accept this person back into your life. So I'm not trying to say like, you know, this person's going to just make their way back into your life and you'll have to, you know, be stuck with them. No, that's not what I'm getting. It just feels like this could be somebody, you know, I'm just going to say it because, you know, this is a little bit of a weird message, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Tower card is representing Scorpio. I'll have to look that up later, make sure. Which would make a lot of sense because Scorpio has a lot to do with change and transformation. But I'm also thinking, the weird message I was getting, was I actually had an ex who identified very deeply with the Tower card. And I remember like they even like I think had a necklace or something like with the Tower card as the pendant or something. But yeah, I don't know why that message came through, because it was just a random memory that I had of somebody that I used to date that was like really into the Tower card. And maybe it was just for the aesthetic of the traditional Tower card. So it could be, and yeah, I guess like to apply that message I was getting to this reading, this could be somebody that perhaps identifies with a tarot card in particular. And it doesn't even have to be specifically the Tower card. So if you know somebody that kind of just likes maybe certain aesthetics of tarot cards, or they may have like a single card that they really resonate very deeply with. Like for me personally, I know that at one point I did like that bleach dyeing technique on a t-shirt, and I made the star card on it. So it could even be like maybe this is a person that you know who is either interested a little bit into tarot or has some connection to tarot in some regard, or they like the aesthetic of tarot, or they could be into that aesthetic. So, or maybe they have some sort of piece of jewelry or clothing that has a tarot card on it. I don't know. That may only resonate for like one person out there, but I feel like that comes through for some reason. That like liking tarot cards for the aesthetic, maybe. But yeah, I feel like the Tower card more than anything in this context is representing the tumultuousness that this person experiences within themselves. And so they could very easily snap back and forth between optimism and pessimism. And that could be just like a really bumpy ride for somebody that is in a relationship with this person. So if this is somebody that, for example, wants to come in and have a relationship with you, because this person sort of has a very turbulent inner world, that would definitely affect your relationship together and probably make it a very difficult relationship to have a healthy dynamic in. Especially if this person's not super aware of like how their inner world is so, for lack of a better word, unstable. But then there's that Ace of Pentacles, a new beginning, an offer to grow something here. The Ace of Pentacles is the beginning of building something, so it's like, yeah. So if this is an X, I can't talk today. I don't know what's going on with me. Anyways, Ace of Pentacles. So it's like if this is an X, which that could be possible because of the Five of Cups. This person could be kind of down and out, brokenhearted about this connection. And so this Ace of Pentacles could be them coming in and being like, you want to start over? You want to do something new together? But it's like that Devil card though, and also another Tower card. It's almost as if this message from Spirit is saying, yeah, sure, this person probably wants to come in and offer you something, but do they have the stability to build with you? Are they awakened enough to build with you? Are they aware of their own mental, emotional, spiritual patterns within themselves enough so that they're not projecting that onto you? because the devil card would indicate, and it came out upright, so it's like maybe this person's still toxic. Yeah, like they could be toxic, or they could have toxic tendencies or addictions. And this came out upright, so that doesn't incline me to say, especially because it was followed by the Tower card, I'm not super inclined to say that this is somebody that has seen this and is actively working on it. Well, I guess there is a potential that they have seen this dark side of themselves and they are working on it, but if they are, it's just causing more chaos. And so this could even be somebody that wants to come in towards you and wants to ask you how you have balanced out your life or yourself, even amongst chaos, even with conflicting views, thoughts, feelings. Because it's almost like when they try to focus on these things that are holding them back, or focus on improving these toxic tendencies, it's like causing everything to fall apart in their mind. This could even be somebody that's like afraid to do that inner work because they're afraid of what they're going to uncover and how that will shake them to their core. This could be somebody with really heavy childhood trauma. Because it's almost like if I admit that I am struggling mental health-wise, that will cause me to reflect on my family, on my childhood that was traumatic. I don't want to think about my childhood. I don't want to think about what happened. Because like that's also a part of this journey as a spiritual person on their way to enlightenment, or somebody that's working on themselves so that they can go towards a life that is more peaceful. So when we are facing our shadow, and typically when we do that, we are also maybe facing up to trauma, things that have kind of made us build those maybe toxic tendencies, toxic ways of being. And it can be really turbulent at first. When we first start to dive into our shadow work, into our spiritual work, our inner reflection work, it can be super chaotic. It can really shake you to your core. It can change your perspective on a lot of things. And I'm almost even getting there could be something to do with an ego death here, that either is necessary or it's what this person is doing currently. Because I can sometimes see that Tower card as like the ego falling apart. So the ego that we have, or maybe the more toxic form of the ego, it can hold us back. It can keep us from improving on ourselves. It can cause a lot of blind spots to ourselves, and therefore we stagnate in terms of our growth. So maybe it's like, okay, I'm facing my shadow self, all these toxic tendencies, and now I am deconstructing my ego in some regard. Because you can never fully get rid of your shadow and your ego, but you can find ways to integrate those things. You can find ways to control certain aspects of them, but also use certain aspects to your favor. So this just feels like somebody that's really kind of going through it, but also wants to build with you, but it doesn't feel like they're in a place that they can. And then that Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck is kind of like them showing up and being like, yeah, let's do this. But according to this, that I'm reading here in these cards, it doesn't seem like this person actually has what it takes to either follow through or to sustain something here. Maybe at first they'll have what it takes, but that almost feels like an adrenaline high rather than something that, you know, is sustainable long term. It could be that you make this person very happy, and so they really want to have a connection with you where they can make you happy as well. But again, I don't know if they have what it takes to actually fulfill these promises and desires that they have with you. Let me see what's underneath that Page of Pentacles. Five of Wands. So it is definitely possible that this is the same ex from earlier if that was an ex, or this is the same person from earlier if it wasn't an ex, just somebody in general. So it could be the same person, or you could have two different people. And maybe they either have similar personalities, or you've gone through similar lessons, I guess, with each of them. So I'm going to see what's underneath that Five of Wands. Okay, so it's still the Five of Swords underneath. Yeah, so again, this could be the same person or a different person. It also could be that this person's still heartbroken about something in the past that they haven't healed from yet, which could make sense with what we were talking about with the Devil in the Tower. So it's like, even if they show up for you, they may be emotionally detached because of whatever they went through in terms of heartbreak before. And the way that this Page of Pentacles is showing up for me is like it's blocking out, like it's covering up the Five of Wands and the Five of Swords. And to me, that almost speaks to don't think back on all the ways I mistreated you in the past. Let's turn over a new leaf. Let's start anew. But I don't know if that's good or healthy or what you even want. So it could be that this person's trying to downplay what took place between the two of you, even if it was really impactful for you. So yeah, there could be something about this person maybe still being kind of manipulative. Yeah. Or they could try to just like downplay what took place between the two of you in the past. Like, oh, it wasn't like that traumatizing. It wasn't like that big of a deal. Like, I don't know. There's something about that here. Pretty much, this doesn't feel like a very stable person. I could definitely see this being a separate individual because they feel a little bit more unstable than the King of Wands we saw earlier. This feels way more unstable as a person. Definitely could be somebody with some sort of serious mental health condition. And that's not to say that people with mental health conditions are scary, but rather just, it could be somebody that isn't either accepting that they have mental health issues, doesn't get treatment for those mental health issues, tries to ignore them. Like, it definitely feels like somebody that hasn't done enough work on themselves to show up in a right way for you. Okay. Very interesting. Let's go on to the Queen of Swords now, see what that's all about. Please make me spirit. So what is this Queen of Swords all about when it comes to who has their eye on the collective and why? Who has their eye on the collective and why? The Queen of Swords. There's way too many. cards that came out. We have Seven of Cups, Six of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, Ace of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, Nine of Swords. The bottom of the deck is the King of Cups. Interesting. So it is possible that there is a feminine energy that has their eye on you, but not necessarily. Because I almost feel like this Queen of Swords embodies more of your energy for some reason. It almost feels like this is how somebody views you, is the Queen of Swords. Somebody that is maybe a little bit cutthroat, a little bit like no nonsense, good with their boundaries. You don't accept BS from anyone. You can also see the truth and read between the lines. Especially the truth that certain people don't want you to see, you really pick up on that. Like there's no getting anything past you kind of energy. That's what I feel. But it could be that there is somebody that's seeing you as that Queen of Swords and they're thinking about the things going on in your life, because we have that Seven of Cups, which can speak about multiple options. So this could be somebody that sees you as quite popular, maybe with other people romantically, or just people in general, or opportunities in general. This person wants to give to you or gives to the situation. But I do sense a little bit of fear, almost like maybe they're worried that somebody else is already giving you their attention, or somebody else is already like giving to you in some way. I'm also getting like this message about they could feel like they don't have as much to offer you as you have to offer them. Like they could kind of put you on a pedestal to a degree. They could feel like you have way more things going for you than they do. The Knight of Cups with the Ace of Cups is very interesting. So that's indicating to me that this is somebody that's coming towards you. This is their intention. And this is why they have their eye on you, is because they're very interested in you romantically. They would like to come forward to express that. And they would like to offer you their little cup of love and see where this can go. If there's any potential for building a foundation here, or to share love in a way that's like compatible and healthy. Definitely could be a water. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't. Yes, so that's why I was saying that the Queen of Swords doesn't feel like this person. It feels more like your energy and how this person perceives you. This person's probably either a water sign, or they are this King of Cups at the bottom of the deck here. So they could be somebody that's just really in their feelings about you, feels very deeply for you, wishes to build something romantically with you. Honestly, I do like the Knight of Pentacles following that, because that almost speaks to me of somebody that is very stable. And although the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck, I feel like it's a card about like preparation, determination, seeking out really good investments. So it's like, and because it is the slowest moving knight in the deck, there is like this energy of like knowing what is worth investing in, what is not, and that sense of reliability. Like this person's not going anywhere, which maybe you're a little bit afraid of people that just want to come in and out of your life, which could be what those last two parts of the reading were about. You may just be used to people being chaotic not being super present, not being super emotionally vulnerable or available or mature. Because it's almost like this person doesn't want to just come in for a quick fling. They're also seeing long term with you. Like, this would be a very worthy investment, and even if it takes a long time, even if it takes, time, effort to maybe win you over, or for this to develop into something worth having, like, they're willing to do that. And not everybody is when it comes to romance and relationships. So I feel like that actually is a really good sign, because that's speaking to me of, like, this person doesn't want to just have a romantic quickie, I guess. They want to have that long term, as well as that developing of love between the two of you. And then the Nine of Swords, they could be really up in their head about this, which honestly, that kind of does make sense now that I look at it like this, because it's like, especially if this person's showing up as the King of Cups and you're showing up as more of a Queen of Swords, this person may see you as a little bit serious. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And also, like, you probably have so many reasons as to why you are the way that you are. And I think this person understands that too. Like, I don't think that this person truly believes that you're just like this, hardened, very serious person. But because they may perceive either certain parts of you as serious, no nonsense, they could have some anxieties about, like, if I come towards this person, are they going to bite my head off, or is it appropriate for me to approach them? Is it the right timing? Definitely feels like this is somebody that could definitely struggle with anxiety, overthinking for sure. But with the Swords, I feel like it's all in their head, and they may actually have a way better chance with you than they think that they do. Also, with the Knight of Cups and then the Knight of Pentacles, I almost feel this sense of, like, maybe this is somebody that's typically more comfortable being in the Knight of Pentacles energy, of, like, maybe waiting forever to take action on something. But it almost feels like they have made some sort of realization that they have to move into this Knight of Cups energy if they ever want this to take off or get off the ground or go in the direction that they want. Because the longer they wait for, to open up to you romantically or express their feelings, the more likely it is that you're going to end up with somebody else, or somebody else is going to come along. So I feel like there's almost this sense of, like, I got to actually take action here. I can't just, like, sit around wishing for it to happen. That's kind of their perspective, I feel. But at the same time, it's probably going outside of their comfort zone. So if this is somebody that typically hangs out in that Knight of Pentacles energy, taking any sort of action is scary. Especially if this is a person that is an overthinker, they could convince themselves, oh, I'm not ready yet. I still need to do this, this, and this. Oh, I need to, making up a lot of reasons as to why something isn't going to work out or why they're unprepared here. But I feel this sense of self-knowledge. I feel like they're aware of these patterns within themselves because they are showing up as that King of Cups, and I feel like that gives off a sense of emotional maturity and some sense of inner reflection, I would say. But they're incredibly loving. They have very strong feelings for you. And it feels like it's worth the risk. I want to see what's underneath this King of Cups. Strength card. Okay, so they're going to be courageous. They're going to be strong. They're going to overcome their insecurities. They're going to try their best to overcome this anxiety, overthinking, pessimistic way of thinking maybe. They're going to be strong for you. It's almost like they see you as a very strong person. So it's almost like I need to be strong too if I'm going to be the right kind of partner for this person. So yeah, they could be like, they could view you in a very strong light. Like you're very strong, you're very resilient. Maybe you've even been through a lot. And this person either picks up on that or understands that about you. Because it's like, because you're showing up as the Queen of Swords, to me that almost even speaks to like this person understands to an extent why you're showing up in that energy of the Queen of Swords. Yeah. I'm curious what's underneath this Strength card. Three of Swords. Now this doesn't feel like somebody that you have a past with though. Okay. I think it's all coming together now. I think this Three of Swords is representing what this King of Cups has gone through in their past. And we got the Three of Swords here, and then you're showing up as the Queen of Swords. I'm getting this backstory from this person that they could have been with somebody that they thought was the Queen of Swords upright, but they probably were more so the Queen of Swords in reverse. So somebody that is like shut off completely from their emotions. Somebody that is overly logical. Somebody that, you know, it's almost the embodiment of facts don't care about your feelings. So this could have been somebody that was really kind of heartless and cold and, you know, cutthroat. But I think you are the lighter aspects of the Queen of Swords. You're the Queen of Swords upright. So you're not going to be mentally abusive. You're not going to be, you know, super head over heart. But maybe there's certain things about you that kind of remind you of the person that put them in the Three of Swords energy. And so that could be kind of triggering this person to an extent where it's like they're nervous to come towards you because you may remind them of somebody from the past that they didn't have a good experience with. And then there's that Nine of Swords as well, which I feel like is in connection to this Three of Swords. So it's like the anxieties that they feel around this connection for you, or between the two of you. It's like triggering and maybe bringing up pains of the past that they went through. And they're maybe afraid of like entering the same old cycle with someone new. But this person is a strong person. They're overcoming these fears of this Three of Swords. They're being strong, they're being courageous, patient, and they're not suppressing or repressing their emotions. They're still emotionally vulnerable, emotionally mature. So it's like regardless of their past, they're going to still show up in a way that is loving, kind, nurturing. I actually really like this person's vibes way more than any of the other people that showed up so far in this reading. Because this person's been through it, but they're not going to take out what they've been through in the past on somebody new, somebody that's not related to that past experience. Because that can sometimes happen when we don't take time to heal, reflect, and all that. We can sometimes take our really awful experiences in love and hold it against anyone that tries to come in to our lives romantically. And I don't think that's this person at all. I think that they've worked very hard in trying to overcome their pains of the past and not let those pains hold them back, not let those build insecurities within them. Yeah, I feel like this is somebody that's actually like courageous, and they're gonna actually try to come forward towards you, even if they're uncomfortable, even if they're scared, because it's like, I almost get this feeling like they have to, because they feel such a strong pull to you. It's like, this could be my soulmate, and if I chicken out, I'll never know. That's kind of what I'm feeling. And I have mad respect for that. Because not everybody is brave enough to do that. Alrighty. Let's go on to the Lover's card now. Please and thank you, Spirit. What's this Lover's card all about in regards to who has their eye on the collective? And what do they want? Please and thank you. Who has their eye on the collective with this Lover's card? And what do they want? Anything else for that Lover's card? Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay, I'll take it. Okay. Quite a bit, but it probably is telling us a bit of a story, isn't it? Yes, the Knight of Wands came out first. So the Knight of Wands came out in this direction. And then the Four of Pentacles upright. And then we have Nine of Pentacles upright. Ten of Swords. Ace of Swords. Six of Swords. The Chariot. Temperance. Eight of Swords. Ten of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck is the Two of Wands. Huh. You are very guarded when it comes to players. You hold your cards close to your chest. Especially if you know this person, like somebody that you're either interested in or that's interested in you. If you sense some sort of player-like tendencies, you're very quickly shut off from that person. And I think that's probably for the best, to be honest, because you just don't have time to waste, is what I'm feeling. But it's almost like, I usually see the Four of Pentacles as maybe not super healthy, but in this context, it could be healthy, you know? Where you're just like shutting down these distractions rather than real soulmates, you know? Where it's like, yeah, it's like you can be closed off towards certain people, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be closed off to everyone, you know? That's kind of what I'm feeling with that, is like you're closed off to very specific types of people, and maybe people with a lot of like red flags. Because it almost feels like somebody is a little too enthusiastic to come towards you, and you're just like, hold up. I'm not going to make it that easy. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles. So it's almost like you're saying, you're saying, like, why would I need someone like that in my life? You have a lot going on for you. And so it's like, why would I want somebody to come in and mess with my stability, my abundance, my peace, my own harmony within my life? Like, you're not gonna just let anybody come in because you've worked too hard for all of that. You've built up so much. You've probably also learned a lot of divine lessons. With the Ten of Swords, you've probably been with these types of people before, and it led you down a path to your rock bottom, you know? Where it's like, you know exactly where you're going to end up if you entertain these types of people that are coming across as more player-like. Because you've been hurt real bad. Real bad with the Ten of Swords. And it's almost like you're like saying to yourself, I'm not going there again. I'm not going back to that sort of person, that type of personality. I've learned my lesson. That chapter in my life is over and done with. Okay. Yeah, so with that Lover's card. Okay, this part of the reading is interesting to me because I almost feel like it's more than one person in this part of the reading. Could be two people, because we do have the two geese in this depiction of the Lover's card. And then we have the Two of Wands and on the deck. Could have to do with two different people that are like, have their eye on you. But one of them is this Knight of Wands, who's coming in towards you a little bit too hot and heavy. And that's gonna leave a bad taste in your mouth. And I almost feel like saying that's reasonably so. Yeah, I don't feel like there's something about that Knight of Wands where it feels like a temporary energy. Like it almost feels like somebody trying to come in towards you, trying to like schmooze you, but you just not falling for it at all. And then they just bounce. They're like, okay, well, it didn't work here. I'll try the next one. I know that's such a strange message, but that's what's coming through. So it's almost like this Knight of Wands had their eye on you, and they're almost like trying to test you to see, like, I hate to say it, but it's like, how easy is it to get with you? I don't know. It feels like somebody with a little bit of an ego on them, which, you know, when it comes to the wands, that's not super uncommon. It's not uncommon at all with the wands. Also, like, maybe that's also why it's like only showing us like a little snippet of this Knight of Wands energy, is because like they don't know you. That's what I'm getting. Yes, and I think that's that Four of Pentacles energy is kind of like, you know absolutely nothing about me. Why do you want to come into my life so badly? And so, yeah, that's probably why you can sense that this person's just like a player or just trying to waste your time or whatever. Because it feels like this person could very well just be thinking with their you-know-what. And you pick up on that because it's like, you're literally only attracted to me. I haven't had a conversation with you. You don't even know what my favorite color is. You have no idea about my thoughts, opinions, about politics, the world, you know. It's kind of that energy where it's like, I can tell that you're just a player because you don't know anything about me. And yet you're coming towards me with such enthusiasm. And so it's like, no duh, I'm gonna be hesitant on letting you in, when the only thing you know about me is that I either have a pretty face or a nice body or whatever. Interesting. So I feel like that's like almost like a minor chapter in this whole reading. It's like there's this like little, like this person that's just kind of like coming in real quick and then piecing out, whereas the other ones feel like they're more focused on you and thinking about a lot of different things, not just like, yeah, not just like Knight of Wands energy of like thinking with their I'm trying to think of a way to word it. Yeah, thinking with their you know what. I'll stick with that. But yeah, so it's like you're too happy and solid right now in your life to ever go back to the past that has created that Ten of Swords energy for you, because you have built yourself up from your own rock bottom. And so it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna be playing these games with you. And so almost it's like maybe because you have such strong boundaries when it comes to this Knight of Wands, that you're almost leaving them no choice but to leave, because you're literally so strong in your boundaries, so strong in your self-respect, so strong in your knowing of your own value, knowing of your own worthiness, that this person doesn't really have the power to force themselves into your life, because you're literally so strong and they can see like, okay, I'm getting nowhere here. I'm gonna just, go somewhere else. That's what I'm feeling with that Knight of Wands. It's very interesting because it's like not. It doesn't feel as. And maybe it's because it's the Knight of Wands. It's one of the faster moving knights in the deck, so it's like kind of gives me a sense of like impermanence or something that's just not long term. But anyways, it's interesting because it's like, and this is where I get the idea that there's like two people in this section of the reading, because there's that person, but then there's the Ace of Swords, which is somebody that wants to bring something to light, expose the truth, bring up information or something that you may have not known. The Chariot is that forward moving action, determination. There is something about going outside of this person's comfort zone as well. So yeah, it feels like a different energy completely to that Knight of Wands, because it almost feels like what the Knight of Wands there is doing is completely in their comfort zone, because they're probably very comfortable with hitting on people, flirting with people, trying to see if people are, going to entertain them or not. But this person feels like, they're actively leaving their comfort zone in order to come towards you. The Temperance would indicate that they would like to balance out or heal this connection with you. Six of Swords, this person could want to move on to smoother waters with you. So if there is any sort of past with this other person, they could want, it's almost like they want to get on better talking terms, speaking terms with you. So it could be somebody that maybe you closed the door on to an extent, and now they'd like to open that door again. With the Eight of Swords, this is somebody that is very stuck in their head. Oh. I can never tell if it's my hair or a bug. Anyways. So with the Eight of Swords, I get that like message of there is, typically with the Eight of Swords, it's like there is that fear of not being able to escape a certain situation, feeling powerless, but you actually do have more power in that situation than you believe you do. And then there's that Ten of Pentacles, which to me is speaking of like what this person wants with you. Abundance, happy home, happy life, maybe even a family. This person could even maybe want to be honest with you in terms of like what they've been doing in their own life. So maybe they've been working on themselves with that Temperance card, trying to find a place of balance within themselves or within their life. And then that Six of Swords could be speaking about them moving towards things that serve them better. And that Eight of Swords could be them talking about how they felt stuck in a certain situation, or they felt like they were maybe even caught up in their own mind with all this overthinking, and that caused them to feel stuck in a certain area. And then there's that Ten of Pentacles, which is, I could see us building everything together pretty much. Like we could have it all if you want it. but it doesn't feel like the power's in their hands. It feels like much more that the power's in your hands, which it should be, right? If somebody's coming towards you to, you know, pursue something with you, they shouldn't be forcing you into that. You should be doing it of your own free will, right? So it's really going to come down to what you have to say to this person. Because of the Temperance and the Six of Swords, this could be an ex, or this could just be someone that's been going through something in their own personal life. There is maybe a little bit of a sense here too where this person may be more in their mind than in reality. And by that I mean, like, yeah, they may want this Ten of Pentacles, but do they have what it takes to build that together? Because it's like, it would have to be a team effort, which, you know, all relationships are a team effort, right? So it's like, yeah, you're not gonna accomplish this Ten of Pentacles if this person doesn't also provide. Because it's like, in my opinion, the Ten of Pentacles is more so two providers coming together and creating a lot of abundance. So it's like, I don't know. It almost feels like, although this person's been working on themselves and they're becoming more daring, they're still like overthinking certain things, or maybe they still have negative mindsets in a certain area of their life. And so maybe this Ten of Pentacles is more of a dream than something that could truly become a reality between the two of you. This could be somebody that feels a spiritual connection with you. And it feels like they really just want to open up the door so that the two of you can have a conversation here. But their intentions, I believe, are they want this future with you of abundance, stability, happiness. Two of Wands at the bottom of the deck. This feels more like this person's energy. I'll call this energy the Chariot energy, so that we can differentiate between the Knight of Wands and the Chariot person. Yeah. So, feels more like the Chariot person's energy than the Knight of Wands. This Two of Wands here, because it almost feels like they feel like something is missing in their life, in their world, and they feel like there's like this sense of craving something, desiring something, or maybe even just feeling not content in their own life because they feel like something is missing, something's, you know, they still want something, and it could be you or a connection with you. So maybe they've been planning on coming towards you to open up a conversation for some time now. I want to see what's underneath that Two of Wands. Four of Swords. So, okay. That actually kind of gives me a little bit of hope here in this part of the reading, because it's almost like this could be somebody that actually has been focusing on their mental health, taking care of themselves, meditating, maybe praying, taking some time out for themselves so that they can actually work on themselves. Okay, so that makes me feel a little bit more hopeful. So this could be somebody that actually is making an active effort to either get better or to improve themselves in some way. So if they're able to get outside of their head a little bit more, they could have what it takes to build that Ten of Pentacles with you. I'm curious what's underneath the Four of Swords. The Hierophant. the Hierophant usually talks about, well, all tarot cards can mean a bunch of different things, but I'm getting with this context that this could be somebody that sees you as maybe their potential future partner, which would make sense with that Ten of Pentacles. They see you as their future partner, and that the two of you could build something really awesome together. And that Hierophant usually speaks about traditional commitments, long-term commitments. I'm also even getting like maybe like they came upon some wisdom or knowledge. I feel like there's almost like this seeing things from a different perspective to a degree. Oh, I'm actually even getting like this could be somebody that maybe maybe their whole life they were like, I'm never gonna marry anyone. Marriage is just not for me. I could never see myself being with someone for the rest of my life. Like, that's just not gonna happen. But then they meet you. And then all of a sudden this person's like, wait a minute. Maybe marriage doesn't sound too bad. Especially if it has to do with you, right? Like you could be like the exception that this person didn't even realize that they were going to be making. Because it definitely feels like it could be somebody that's like a little bit stuck in their ways to a degree, but then like something opens them up out of nowhere and they're just like, oh, I guess I'm more flexible than I realized, or I guess my opinion does change. My perspective does change and shift. I'm curious what's underneath that Hierophant card. Knight of Swords. The fastest moving knight in the deck. So yeah, I do think this is Chariot guy. Chariot guy. Regardless of gender, I don't know why I'm calling him guy, but the Chariot character in this reading, it definitely feels like this person's energy. Because something has triggered them into action. So they're probably actively overcoming this Eight of Swords energy. If they've been thinking pessimistically about this connection, like, oh, there's no way this is going to work out, there's no way this is as good as it seems, or, all those types of overthinking thoughts here that keep them stuck. But it's like they're unsticking themselves. Maybe that's what they're also talking about when they come in to have this conversation, is like, maybe they realize that in the past, or, it doesn't even have to be the past that deals specifically with you, it could just be their past in general, that they used to be really stuck in their head, they used to be really doubtful, they used to feel kind of stuck in life, but now they're like freeing themselves and they're not afraid to come towards you because they do see something long-term with you. And again, I'm getting this sense of like, especially after they take some time to reflect on this, to really meditate on it and see if this is a connection that's right for them, they come to this conclusion of like, oh, maybe I do want to marry someone. Or maybe I could see spending the rest of my life with someone. And it's like you are the one that has shifted this person's perspective. Because you're very attractive. You're showing up in a very attractive energy. Because like you showed up with that Nine of Pentacles, which I feel like is showing that you've got it going on in so many ways. You're stable, abundant, confident, and you're kind of happy overall with what you're building. And then also the Ten of Pentacles, I think that speaks volumes about how they feel about you and how they view you. Because this is like the future they could see the two of you building together. Generational wealth. So like you could create wealth that carries on for generations. They could definitely want to be like in a power couple dynamic with you as well. Building stuff together. Yes! And now that I'm getting back to this Two of Wands, it was at the bottom of the deck here, maybe that's what they feel they were missing. is like a partner in crime, you know, ride or die, you know, somebody that's with you through thick and thin. So it's almost like they feel like they could have everything they want in their life, but because they don't have you, that's the one thing that they feel like they need or desire. Okay. Honestly, very straightforward. A lot of these are very like either romantic or lusty. So yeah, you're very popular right now, I would say. Yeah, okay. Well, let's look at this bottom of the deck now. I am now noticing that this is the Queen of Cups. We had the King of Cups earlier. So that could be a really good indication that that King of Cups is really good for you in some regard, or that they would be very compatible with you. You're equal, which I feel like we all want in a relationship. Yeah, so that could be somebody that's compatible with you. I'm curious what's underneath that. Six of Wands, so that's a card of success. The kind of success that other people notice and celebrate. So this could be a connection worth celebrating. If that King of Cups character that we saw earlier comes into your life, maybe that's something that is worth celebrating eventually. Or you're just coming into a lot of success and that's also making you very attractive and probably drawing a lot of people's attention to you. It also could be like more of like your aura or your energy. Like you just feel like a successful person. So maybe you're the type of person that is like manifesting the life that they want. And so you're kind of like showing up as somebody that already has that manifestation. And it kind of comes through your aura, your energy. And so maybe people just assume that you already are successful, even if you haven't personally gotten to that point yet in your journey. I'm curious what's underneath the Six of Wands. Nine of Pentacles, double confirmation for Nine of Pentacles. Yes, you're becoming abundant, stable. And again, like you're very attractive because you look like you're successful. You look like you have it going on. You're also showing up in a very kind, loving energy, which is very interesting because we had the Queen of Swords energy earlier. So yeah, you're complex because it's like, yes, I have boundaries. I'm no nonsense when it comes to things that matter. I'm not going to just allow anyone into my energy, anyone into my life. I take these things seriously. But at the end of the day, you know, I do have a gentle heart. I have a very feeling heart. And at the end of the day, I want love and I want to be loved. I want to love and to be loved. So yeah. You're a complex individual, which I think is totally understandable, and it's like you'll show up for the right person in that loving energy. But I think you just protect yourself, and that's normal and healthy. So yeah, let's ask the Oracle if there's anything else to add to this beautiful reading. Please and thank you, Spirit. Yeah, this I don't think is going to be a quickie, unless I don't know. I'll see when I'm editing. But I really just wanted to do a reading today for some reason, even though my brain's broken and the heat is making my chronic illness worse, but I don't know. Life's too short to stay inside on a summer day. Okay, so the cards that came out for y'all, let me take a quick peek. Oh, how interesting. We have the Bobcat and Blackthorn. This represents patience, which we saw the Strength card earlier with that King of Cups, I believe. So patience and strength could be very important.
Yes, it happened again. My phone died again. But on the bright side, I remember the oracle cards that came out and what was at the bottom of the deck. So I'm gonna just look at these cards, see what messages come through related to your reading. Yeah. So that Bobcat and Blackthorn that I was talking about, that represents patience. I feel like you show up in a way that is very much like a combination of this card and the Strength card, where it's like you have a lot of patience and a lot of strength. And yes, you have like this beautiful nature to you that I feel like intrigues a lot of people. The second card that came out was the raccoon and sycamore. This represents curiosity. And I feel like that kind of matches with that message of people being very curious about you. There's a lot that people don't see. There's a lot of things that people would like to get to know about you. And so I think you just are very intriguing as a character in these people's lives. You have an air of mystery that I feel like a lot of people want to, look deeper into. And at the bottom of the deck, we had the deer and oat. This represents healing. So not only are you being seen as strong, patient, intriguing, but you're also a master of healing. And I feel like there is a certain peace with your energy, a certain amount of contentment within yourself. And this is something that makes an impact on other people. And it also adds to that curiosity, like, how did you heal? How did you get to this point? But yeah, so that is the end of the reading. I really hope that you liked it. I hope that it resonated. If it did resonate, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you subscribe, you can become a part of the Hive Collective, because my name is Bee. Bees live in hives, and you can become an honorary bee like me, and we can be a little bee family together. If you like my readings and you'd like to see more, be sure to click the bell icon down below so that YouTube actually notifies you the next time that I upload. And I truly appreciate you for being here. And I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.